Hello friends, this is Manjunath Chandraya. Today's session we learn basic VLOOKUP. As you can see, I have a tab called basic VLOOKUP. So I have a small data from A to D, the employee numbers and name, looking for a working days and wages. K to N column as the employee working days and wages. So we are trying to pull from K to N column into the C and D, the working days and the wages. So before putting VLOOKUP, the first thing we should keep in mind is we need to find a unique factor or a unique column before putting a VLOOKUP function. Why is necessary that we need to have a unique column is if you don't have a unique column, then the value which is picked will be incorrect. For that reason, we need to first of all we need to find the column which is unique in the nature. Let's try the name column. So to find the uh, unique values, you can use condition formatting. Go to home, condition formatting, highlights, go to duplicates. So as I clicked on this, you see now you can see it is popped up with red. Ram and Sham has repeated twice. So this column is not unique in nature. Unique in nature. So we'll ignore this column. Let's try employee. So highlight duplicates. Now you can see this A column doesn't have any colored cells. So it means there is no duplicate in this column. As you know, employee numbers doesn't have duplicate since every person has a unique employee number. So I'm happy with this column. When you do this, we need to do the same thing in the column, in the master column. It's nothing but here. So I'll go to select the directly employee number, use the home, condition formatting, highlight, duplicates. So, and the K column is also no duplicates. So I'm happy with these cells. So once you find the unique column, then you can start putting the VLOOKUP. So as you know, we're looking for the working days. So in the master data is nothing but here. So from if you start from here, employee number is 1, 2, third column. Third column has the working days and fourth column has the wages. That you need to keep in mind. Let's start putting the VLOOKUP. So we already find the unique column, that is, so you can start a formula using plus or equals VLOOKUP open bracket. So people sometimes they'll directly write the formula here, and that is also fine. So I usually use the insert function. So as you can see, it's it's popped up with the 4 boxes. Lookup value is nothing but the unique column value which you have found. So I know that column A is the unique in nature. So it says value. So I need to select the particular cell. So table area is nothing from the is where you're trying to get the data. So table area. So I've started the employee name employee as A2 to table area. You need to start from employee itself. Employee to so working days. So it says 3C. 3C is nothing but 3 columns. Third column. So as you can select the range and 3 0. So as you can see 21 is the value, it is already showing here. So using this it gives you result so that we know that whether you're typing the formula correctly. Let hit OK. So copy the formula down. Now you can see its value is picking. So example, if I say example in Sham 101, I'll just click on this. Now you can see this range is going down. Why? Because the range what you selected, we are not logged the cells. If you don't log the cells, the range keep on going down when you copy the formula down. See, if I copy the formula down, see now the range is going down. Obviously it is doesn't check in the correct parameters. So for that reason, what it do, for that reason we need to freeze the cells. So let's again do select this table area, hit F4. F4 what it does, it add a dollar sign which going to log the cells. So once say OK, copy the formula down. So now you see, now the range is not moving. That is very important. When you're trying to select only the particular range, then you need to freeze the that range. So let's start here for the wages. Same thing, we look up, open bracket, it's if insert function. So lookup value is nothing but employee number 103. Table area, again it will be same thing. So what I'm right now what I'm doing is I'm selecting the entire column. So when you select the entire column here, so no need to freeze the cells because the range will take anywhere in this k column to n column. So I know fourth column is the wages 1, 2, 3 and fourth column. So lookup value is range lookup is nothing but you should always put 0 because you need to get the exact value. Either you can put 0 or you can put it as false, because as you can see here it says true is for omitted, find the exact match is equal to false. So we need to find exact match, so you can use the 0 here. So click OK, drag the formula down. Now you can see because the range is full, so it is not moving, so no issue. So the value is picked here. So very simple, but always keep in mind that you need to find the unique column before putting a VLOOKUP, right? Let's move on to next column, next tab. So we have some data here, customer, product, and we need to find the sum. So in the next tab it says master table. It has customer, product, and the amount. So we need to pull this amount into the VLOOKUP tab. So for that, again, first criteria is to find the unique column. Let's try with the customer B column. So home, condition formatting, duplicate values, highlight cells to duplicate values. Now you can see entire column has the duplicates. So we can't use this column. Let's try C column, condition again. Again this has all duplicates. So both the columns here now has duplicates. So we can't use this. What we can do is in this type of scenario, you can go ahead and merge these two cells and find a unique, make a unique column. Let's do that. So I'll just add a column name as Matt. Any name you can give it. So I'm just, so for merging these two columns you can use AND function and or the concatenate. So let's use AND function here. So I selected this cell, I'll add AND double quote hyphen, again double quote, and you always remember when you add a text or a special character you should start from the double quote, end with the double quote. So I'm adding a special character, so I started with the double quote, end with the double quote, and the next product C4. So now you can see it is differentiating using the hyphens. So let's check whether this column is in unique in nature. Highlights, duplicates. Now you can see there is no duplicates highlighted here, and we are good to use this column. What you have created here, you need to create the same thing in the master table for the same columns. So you should not change the criteria. So Matt, so I'm trying to use this same, select the cell and open the double quote hyphen, end with the double quote, and select the product cell. Just copy and drag it down. Let's try doing the check the whether it is unique in nature. It's very important to check both the master and the lookup table whether there is a unique in nature. As you can see, there is nothing is highlighted here, so we are good to use these columns. Once you find the unique column, then you can use the VLOOKUP. You can use the lookup VLOOKUP, open bracket, hit the insert function. So lookup value is nothing but the unique column which you have selected. It says value, select one cell. Table area is nothing but the master data from where you are trying to retrieve the totals. Go to master data. So since we are trying, this is the unique, mat column is the unique, so we'll select from here the range. See, as it says, fourth column is the amount column, 4C. So I'll go ahead and log the cell, that is important, using F4. Use 4 for the fourth column. And range lookup is nothing but 0. We need the exact values. Always use 0 or false. Just drag it down. See, now it is taking the exact values. So very important when you are not able to find a unique column, so that you can merge 2 or 3 or a number of columns to get a unique column. Once you get the unique column, you repeat the same thing for the master data, and if you once the both the criteria matches the unique columns, then you can put a VLOOKUP and get the retrieve the data. That is very important, guys. And hope this session was helpful. We'll be learning how to use COUNTIF and COUNTIFs. So if you are new to this channel, do subscribe, hit the bell icon for more interesting videos and learnings. What is COUNTIF? There are two functions. One is called COUNTIF and COUNTIFs. So COUNTIF is nothing but single category criteria. So it gives single, we can count based on a single criteria. COUNTIF is nothing but, as the name states, we can do a multiple criteria. We go by one by one. So what is COUNTIF? As it says, counting based on some criteria. So we have the customer here. I want to count how many times Dan Brown has repeated in this H column. For that you can use COUNTIF function. So you can use CO, you want to count if, open bracket, you can use this insert function. So it's asked for your range. So you can go directly range, it will be H column. In this we are trying to look for what? So in the H column we are trying to look for Dan Brown. So I'm selecting this criteria as 1. So criteria is always will be 1. Range is nothing but, so keep in mind whenever it says range, always go to the master file or the master data, right? Okay, let's click OK. So now you can see Dan Brown has repeated 3 times, Robert 5 times, Tom 1 time. You can see all this. It's very simple, right? It gives the number of counts, and very simple and very useful whenever you want to count, but based on a criteria. Okay, right. Next example we are going to do is, we have a data here. So we have numbers. We need to count, which is, say example, this is criteria is already set. COUNTIF based on a criteria greater than 10. We need to know which are the criterias, which are the numbers which is greater than 10. So we have a data here, right? So let's try putting the COUNTIF function here again. COUNTIF, open bracket. So since it says range, I'll go ahead and select this range till here, right? So criteria. So we have the, what is the exam criteria we given? Count based on the criteria greater than 10. So we'll give greater than 10. Once you give this, hit OK. You can see 6. So there are there are 6 numbers which is greater than 10. So we can count 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? So greater than, so greater than, we are, so it says greater than, so we need to ignore the 10. So it's very simple. You can use greater than or less than. So if you want, you can give less than. It gives the numbers which is less than 10, right? So very simple and very useful to count based on some criteria. So let's move on to the next, called as COUNTIFs. So what is COUNTIF? As it says, multiple criteria here. So since we have customer name, products, I need to know how many times Don has sold apples. Say his name and the apple would have repeated twice. I need the count. For that you can use count. Here we just will use a s function. So COUNTIF and COUNTIF doesn't make anything because it gives it multiple criteria. So it's not that you can only use COUNTIFs for single criteria as well for the multiple criteria. So it's not that for single criteria you should use COUNTIF. Either you can use it or you can use COUNTIFs. Let's use COUNTIFs for a multiple category. So we have two categories, right? One is customer and the product. It's asking for a criteria range. As I said, anything states range, go to the master data or the master file. So it says range. We'll go by one. So we have two criteria to meet here. One is customer and the product. Let's put the criteria range 1. So I'll go and select the, as it says range, I'll go and select the H column. In that, what we are trying to do. So H column is nothing but customer. In that, which customer we are trying to do? Dan Bro. So criteria 1. So I'll select Dan Bro here. Next criteria is products. So here it says criteria range. So I'll go back to the master data here again. In that product I column, what we are trying to search, the criteria is Apple. So when you select, you can see the result here already. Just click, drag it down. Now you can see the Dan Brown apples are repeated twice, and Robert and biscuits 1. Jeremy and the lemons are 0. Tom and apples are 1. Very simple. It's not limited to two criteria. If you have multiple criteria, keep on adding the criteria using these COUNTIFs for the multiple criteria. Let's also do one more example on COUNTIFs. Let's go into the example 3. So now there's a little challenge here. So we have the employee names or employee names, and we have the products here on the top. So I need to know Ram how many apples he has sold, how many biscuits, how many sweets, how many lemons and pie. So same thing for every different salesperson. For that, so since we have two criteria, one is name and the products, so we can use directly a COUNTIFs. So COUNTIFs, open bracket. So once you open this, as it says criteria range, so I'll go to the master data. So we have two criteria, one is name and the apples. So first thing, I go for the name, select the entire range. So in that we are trying to look for Ram first, right? In criteria range 2 is products. So as it says range, I'll go back to the master data. In that criteria range 2 is nothing but apples. We're trying to look for the apple. It's on the header. So once I select, click OK. Now you can see, I'll just hold this mouse, just drag this down to the right, to the down. Now you can see just only one value I have taken, rest everything is showing 0. Let's remove the color. Okay, so we probably able to see this now. So why actually see, we know we have Ram, he has sold 2 apples. So there is Sham here, so he has biscuits. So obviously they should show some count here. It is not showing. Let's see what's the problem with the formula. Do F2. So you can see the range is selected correctly. You can move into the next cell, C2, C4, sorry. So what actually is happening? Here you should have taken Ram. It is going to B column. Here it is correct, biscuits. Whereas here you can see the range is also moving. So we need to freeze the cells so that ranges are not moving. So everything is freeze correctly. For that, so what we need to do is, I know if I copy this formula, I should check for Sam, Dam and so on. And the header should also remain constant, because if you copy this down, see if you can click here, see it is coming down. Actually it should be in the Apple B3. That is also issue. So we're going to fix it by using a dollar sign. First, click on this, open this range. So you can see the criteria, range 1. So this M and N column are the constant of data, where master data is there. So you can go ahead and freeze those things using F4 function. On your top of your keyboard, you can find F4 function. So you can see dollar sign. If you put, it adds the dollar sign. Again, it's for criteria. In that, what we are trying to, A4 is nothing but the RAM. Here, if you copy the formula to the right, the range, the column, A column should be constant, but the row number should change. So let's freeze. We will put a dollar sign next to the A column. So now what it does is, it will going to freeze column A, because all the names in the A column. So numbers can change because we copying the data down. We'll see how it works. Again here, criteria range to N column. So we need to freeze that using F4 function. So B3 is nothing but the top row of the products. So it's the row number 3 is where all the products are there. But the column number can change, because if I copy the formula to C, D, E, and F, but the row always stay constant for these headers. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to freeze the row number 3. So I'm adding a dollar sign prior to 3. Now if you copy, okay, if you click OK, copy this formula to the right, then down. Now you can see if you click somewhere here, it is taking exact particular salesperson, and the product here it is not changing, and the range also it is in here. So if you go here to the right, you can see taking pies and the Pam, the salesperson. So if you, anywhere if you click, so it is here, you can see this green color, and you can see this, so it is taking and the range is correct. So very important when you're doing a adding a formula, if the your say criteria is on row as well as in column, make sure that use the dollar sign. So dollar sign both the side, it's going to freeze the entire column. If you add left side of an alphabet, that is nothing but column number, it is going to freeze that column. If you add the dollar sign prior to number, it will going to log the row number. It's very simple and very helpful. Hope this session was interesting. Back, this is Manjunath Chandraya. If you are new to this channel, do subscribe, hit the bell icon for more interesting videos and learnings. Today's session we'll be learning SUMIF and SUMIFs. What is SUMIF? As the name states, SUMIF. Sum is nothing but adding set of values based on a criteria. So SUMIF it says single criteria. So it's trying to sum on a based on a single criteria. So have a data here, sales, salesperson's name. We're trying to find the sales of that each salesperson. So we have the data here. H to J is nothing but the this salesperson's name, the product, and the how much of sales they have done for the month. We're trying to get values based on the in the B column based on H to J. Let's start. So before starting, we need to know what criteria we're trying to retrieve data. Since we have only one criteria, it says Ram sales name, and we are trying to find the sales for Ram, Sham, and so on. So we know the criteria is salesperson's name, and what we are trying to find is sales, right? So let's start. Use any formula. You need to start with equals sum if. So we are using the sum if first. So you can hit a tab. So you'll get an open bracket. Click this fx function, insert function. So we'll get a function argument box. Here we have three criteria: range, criteria, and sum range. So we need to fill all these criteria to get the result. Let's go by one. Range. Range is nothing but what you're trying to sum on based on a range. So range means, so we are trying to, the criteria is name, sales name. So name. So name is in which column here? H column. So anything we are trying to look for Ram in the H column. So let's select H column because we're trying the criteria is Ram. So we have put the formula in B5. We're trying to look for Ram on which range? On the H column, because names are all the names are in the H column. So I'm selecting the H column as a range. And criteria, obviously we are looking for Ram. So I'm selecting Ram here. Sum range. Sum range is nothing what we are trying to sum. As we know, the header is sales. We are trying to look for the sales. So it says range. So let's go and check in the J column. So you can see the sales here. Select. As you know, now it's the value is popping up here, 35. So in it is okay. Just drag this formula down. Now you can see the values are picked. This is very simple. So the very important thing you should keep in mind, I call it as a blind method. If anything says range anywhere in these criterias, you should always go to the master file. That always you remember. If anything says range, some range, always go to the master file and select the range. See, if I have selected H column, it says range. On the name column, so it says some range, so I've gone back to the master file. Say this is the master data or the master file. The criteria always one, because we're trying to search for one criteria at a time. So that always keep in mind. So it's very simple and a very easy to use. If you're able to fill this criteria, you'll get the result. Hope this function was easy. Let's move on to the next one. In the example 2, we are trying to, this is a criteria asking us to add only the positive numbers. So I have here sample of small data. So there it consists of positive as well as the negative numbers. So I need to add only the positive numbers. The one way of doing is equals plus plus and plus. So I able to get this value now. But say if I have a thousands of data, I need to only add the sum values. Again, it's very difficult to do manually, right? So we can use the sum function to get the values. Let's use the sum function here, SUMIF function. So we need to get the result here. Same thing, sum if, open bracket, use this fx insert function box. Now you can see, so the criteria. So we don't have any, we have only one criteria. Says we need to add all the positive numbers. The range is nothing but this is range we are trying to add, right? Select the range. The criteria, it says only add only the positive numbers. So for that you can put greater than 0. So greater than 0, it says anything 0. So if you add 0, 0 with anything, it gives the same value. So just you can put greater than 0. So now you can see the result here. So no need to, again you can go ahead and sum the range. If you do it, it doesn't going to affect anything. So let's go and select that also. So the values, summing range is nothing but same column. So click OK. Now you can see it's very easy to get the values using the SUMIF function. So if you want to get the negative values, just change the sign to lesser. Now you can see the result already here. Click OK. So now you got the result. So very simple. You can use the SUMIF function if you want to add only the positive numbers or the negative numbers, or you need to add based on, say, that anything greater than 50 and less than 100. So something also you can do using this function. Hope this will be helpful. So if you find, then we move on to next, called as SUMIFs. What is SUMIFs? As the name states, it's everything same. S adding up is nothing but multiple criteria. So we have the salespersons as well as the product. The earlier example we had only the salespersons, and we had salesperson and we are trying to find the sales. Here we are trying to find a particular product also. Say example Ram, I need to know how many TVs he has sold. So the data is here. So we have two criteria. One is RAM criteria and the product criteria. For that we can't use the if function. If function only gives the single criteria, but ifs gives the multiple criteria. Other than that, there is no any difference here. Let's start putting it directly. SUMF sum ifs, open bracket. So now we can see sum range. So as I told, as I keep it in a blind method where it says range, directly go to the master file or the master data. So it says sum range. So we are finding for the sales. So let's go select the sales here, right? And says criteria range. Again, it says range. The first criteria range is we are trying to find the salesperson's name. So salesperson's name is in I column. So I'm selecting the I. After that, it says range 1 and criteria 1. So it gives 1 here. No, related to that, we need to select the criteria. Since we have selected the name column, we go ahead and select the criteria as 1 as Ram here. So once you select this, you can see the result. Using the single result, you will get the value as 35 total sales he has done. But you need to find the product. Let's move on to next criteria. Again, it says criteria range 2. The next criteria is products. So range it says, so I'll go select the product column, right? J column. Then criteria, again it says range criteria 2. You can see the 2. What criteria we're trying to do, we are looking for is product. nothing but TV. So now you see I've selected this, the result has changed here because we already select the sum range already. So click OK. Now we can drag the formula down. So Ram has sold 30, 30 units of TVs. So you can see Ram 30. So let's say Sham TV has sold nothing because nothing has sold. He has sold only the mobiles. So example, if I change it here to mobile, sorry. So now we can see 75 units of mobiles he has changed. So very simple. Only thing always keep in mind, it says so as you select the criteria range 1 name, the criteria 1 should be related to name. If you're selecting range 2 as the products, the criteria should be product, selecting single product here. If you follow that, it's easy to get the result. So let's do one more example on SUMIFs. Next we can move on to next sheet. So here we have same thing, we have the salespersons and the product. We are trying to find the units as well as the values. So how much of units he has sold for particular product from particular salesperson and what its sales, right? So here we have the data of that quantity as well as sales and the salesperson name and the product. Let's try putting the sum if. So since here it is two criteria, we'll use sum ifs. So I've selected sum ifs, open bracket. So again it says range. So first of all, what we are trying to sum is units, right? Here two things we are looking for, units. So sum range, here we select the quantity as the units. So it says criteria range. The first criteria range is we are trying to look for the name. So it says range. Using that blind method, directly go to the name column. Sorry, I selected wrong. So sum range should be quantity. Click on to the other box. Criteria range 1. So name, we are trying to look for first name. Go by order. In that name, look for Ram. So already you can see the result here 94. Ram total sales, total units of year sold is 94. But we need to find, this is the one criteria, but we need to find for the particular product. So it says again go to the next, it says criteria range. Range again we need to go to the product master file. So it says product. So we'll go to the ranges to select the K column for the products, and the criteria it says criteria is single one. So we'll go and select the product here, single product. So now you can see 0. So he has not sold anything of eyeliner. Let's click, drag the formula down. See, Devon has not. So yes, foundation. You can see here foundation. So let's put foundation here. Let's see, we can see the changes. Now we can see. I don't know why it is showing negative here. Let's remove negative. So now you can see 8 units he has sold. So it's very simple. So let's put the same thing for sum for the values, sales values. Sum ifs, open bracket. So it says sum range because we are trying to sum the values, sales values, nothing but here M column. See, as it says range, I'm going back to the master file. First criteria's name, again it says range. So I'll go to the master file, select the name range. In that what we are trying to look, Ram. Again next criteria range, we are trying to look for the products. So says range, I'm going back to the master file, and criteria what you are looking in that K column, eyeliner. So now click OK. Now you can see since it's 0 because he has not sold anything related to eyeliner. So if you want to change Ram, you see if it anywhere it's Ram. So Ram is not, Ram is here. So yes, sold some mascaras. Just copy that formula. Now it changes. See. So very simple, guys. Only thing you need to remember, as it says range, go back to the master file, select the criteria. When you select the range, same column, go and select the same related name. So if you do that, and it's easy to use and easy to get your values. I hope this session was interesting. If you think the video was interesting, kindly subscribe, hit the bell icon for more interesting videos. And if you want me to train on anything else, please give us the suggestion. Any other formulas you want to know or anything, please add your comments in the comments box, so that I'll surely try to do that training maybe in the future. Session we'll be learning how to use if function. There are a lot of people think if function is difficult to use and a lot of confusion in it. But if you understand the logic clearly, then it is very simple and easy to use and very helpful function. Let's start. So have a basic if sheet. First of all, we need to know what is if function. As the description says, the if function does a logical text test on a particular cell, returns one value for a true result, another for a false result. So what it trying to say is, it's going to test a particular cells based on our criteria and returns either two results. One is true result or the false result. So let's take a example. If Raju wants coffee or tea, so we are testing Raju with a logical question asking whether he likes tea or coffee. So there are two options. Either he can likes coffee or tea. So we're testing Raju. Raju is nothing but a cell, and we're giving a criteria as coffee or tea. Based on that, we'll find the result. Let's try an example. Let's take the Raju say example. Say Raju likes coffee. Okay, this is the criteria we are trying to search. So we don't know what's in the cell H4 logical test. So we are testing this cell whether he likes the coffee. So we are putting a formula here. Let's use if function, if open bracket. So we are not given anything here. Say logical test. We are testing this cell. So what we are trying to test is equal to, either you can go and select this cell here coffee, or you can write it here. So since we are writing a text, so you need to always start with the double quote coffee in with double quote. So true value. So as per our criteria, Raju likes coffee. So true is coffee. So again, give as coffee, or you can give as true. Let's give as true. So we are trying that to true. So I am opening the double quote and ending with the double quote. The false again, if he is not the logical test is failing, then it will be false. So let's select this, right? So I given the, so see right now we are not uh, entered anything in H4, so it's showing a false result here. Let's click OK. Since nothing is there, showing a false result. Let's put coffee here, right? So now you can see it has changed to the true value because we have already specified the criteria as coffee. So we know that if this cell falls into coffee equals to coffee, then it should be true or false. So so you can see here. So for the text we are given the double quotes. So let's say he likes tea. So you can use this function. A lot of people directly write the formula. That is also fine. So what's the difference between using this is writing? So sometimes you forget. Say example, you're not able to write if you miss a comma. Here it's use the easy option of where to fill what. So if function. So if you click on this, you have the three tests. So you easily input what necessary fields into the respective box. So logical text again, we're selecting this. So here we are trying to select, instead of criteria coffee, you select as tea. Let's see. So equals. So again double quote T in with double quote. So now if it's T, then it should be true. Again double quote true. Close it. False. If it's not, now you see, now it shows false because we are given the criteria as T here. So we are searching for a T. Since it is coffee, it doesn't going to pick. Once you change the cell to T, it changes to true. So true or false, anything you can give. So you can give as tea, he likes tea, he doesn't like coffee, something like that. You can give a comment. That we try doing it going forward. As we have three examples to see, and it's very simple and easy. You should understand the three logics here. Let's try an example. So let's go into the other sheet. So we have example one, a function. We have the names of the students, their score, and we are trying to find the result. So what's criteria? So first of all, if function, we need to know the criteria. So our criteria is 35% scoring, passing score. So criteria is we are able to find the criteria. So anybody who achieved 35 and above have the passing score. They are pass. People who are less than 35 are failed. So we have the criteria. So we want to search this in these cells. Let's start the function result. If open bracket, we can use this function logical test. So you are testing this cell. So what we are trying to test, passing 35% passing score is nothing but 35 and above. 35 is greater than, so we'll put greater sign or equal, because if a person achieves 35 also passed, so we are putting equals, then give the number. So for numbers, you no need to put the double quotes. Only the text, any special characters, you need to start with the double quote, end with the double quotes. So the value, if it's true. So what's the value you are seeing? Passing, right? If anybody achieved 35 and above is passed. So since it's a text, we'll start with the double quote, pass, end with double quote. And what is the false result? If he is not achieved, what will be the result? In that case, failed. Again, double quote, failed. So now click OK. See, as the result is giving on this cell because it is achieved 35. Let's click OK. Now you see, right? See, the Sam has achieved 35. So yes, is failed. So let's say, let's put it as 37. See, now the sign is changing. So very simple. So first of all, we need to know the criteria. Criteria is 35 and above are passed. This is the criteria. First, you need to know the criteria. Then the formula you can go ahead and apply. So very simple now, guys. So you can copy the formula down a number of times so that it gives the result. Right. Let's move on to the next example. Example 2. Here it is little bit changed. Example 2 as, okay, we have the names and the sales for the month and the target. So say example, this salesman's has made sales for the month of 1000, 6000 and 2000, and the target is nothing but monthly targets. Each person may have a different target depending upon what product they are selling. So these are the actual targets, but they have achieved only this sales for the month. We need to find. So first of all, we need to know what criteria we are trying to search. So the criteria is achieved or not, whether they achieved the target or not, that we need to find using if function. So that's a criteria we are going to search here. If equals, okay, click on this instead function logical test. We are testing this cell. Now is the challenge where you can see sales and we have two cells here. So we need to check the target and the actual sales. So how are you going to do? Since let's say this cell sales greater than or equal, sorry, greater than or equal to. So what we are trying to do, C6 sales, if the sale is more than 5000 or equal to 5000, so we are going to select this cell. So now we are not typing the a number here because the target is changing for each cell. The other person is 5,000, the next person is 4,000. So if you give 5,000 here, it will be constant. So based on the cell, it should pick. So now you say sales of a person is greater than or equal to the target that you have given here. If it's equal to the target, then is achieved, right? So since it's a text, we'll start with the double quote, achieved. Okay. So not, next is false is nothing but it's not achieved, not achieved. Close the double quotes. See now, I copied the formula down. So this person have not achieved the target because here his sales is 1000, whereas the target is 5000. The next person's sales is 6000, the target was 5000, so he has achieved the target. The other person is 2000 sales, but the target was 4000, he has not achieved, right? See, when you, some people directly type the formula here, that is also fine. So if you're typing, then you need to add a comma. Comma is nothing but for the next cell. So if you type this function in logical test, then you need to give comma, then you need to give the true value, then you need to give comma again, and then comma and the close bracket. Since you're using this, you can avoid giving that comma and the brackets. It may work sometimes if you are using a multiple functions as we go to the further. Sometimes it may not work. You are doing manually from here. It's also helpful. Let's see. So this you understand, guys. So we are using it two criteria. Earlier was one criteria, but here two things. We're trying to check the two cells, then get the result. Let's move on to the third example. So here we have a multiple if function. So we have the student's name, the score. So we need to find the result. As per the first, when we did the first example, we just put anybody who crossed 35 and above as passed, irrespective of ES crossed 75, 60, 80. Whereas now the criteria has changed to multiple. Say if he is less than 35, fail, greater than or equal to 35 and less than 49 is third class, greater than or equal to 50 but less than 59 second class, greater than or equal to 60 and above is first class. So we have four criteria, where earlier we had only two things, either true or false, either achieved or not achieved, pass or fail. But here we have four criteria. So here a little bit tricky, but if you understand the criteria and if you able to put it on a step by step, your if function works well. So one more thing very important that we need to keep in mind when you adding a multiple if function, you should always start from the bigger number to the smaller number, descending order, highest to the lowest. Very important. So you should not start the function using first function as 35, then 30, 35 and above, 50 and above, 60 and above. Not like that. We need to go by first 60 and equal to above, 50, then 35 and above, then should be the last. Why? Because first of all, if you go by ascending, if you go by smaller number, if something falls in the 75, it picks that same amount, because anything greater than or equal to 35, so it takes this criteria. So you need to go by the highest number to the lowest number. Okay, let's start the if function here. If, oh, I will use this function. Let's see we are able to use this function box. So logical text. So what you are testing is, we're testing this cell as what. So since we are, as I told, I need to go by the higher number, which is the highest number is 60. So we'll just go ahead and say greater than or equal to 60 should be, what is the result? First class. So you can go ahead, select as the open with the double quote, first class. So false. So we can't give a false since we have multiple criteria. So if you give false, so then it will take everything as false. Only shows anything is greater than 60. Let's leave it blank. Now you see it gives only false. Only it shows you result where is above 60. But this we achieved. but we need to achieve the, if this is, if it is, this is say above 60 first class, that is fine. If it less than 60, then what should be the next criteria? So we need to add again. Since we are not given the false function, we go and add the again the if function. So here we are not going to use this box, we'll use directly here. So I put the first criteria is working fine. So you are able to find the answer, right? Again I'll go to this function here. So I closed. Remember friends, when you putting a function or any other function, this open bracket and close bracket is nothing but you're closing that function. Maybe you're completing that the entire function. So we are not completing here, so we need to remove the bracket. So when you remove the bracket, you can see this options turning up. So if you put a comma now, because we are not using that insert box, we need to put a comma. Value if false. So while if it's false, but they have three criteria: second class, third class, and fails. So what is next criteria? Is second class. So what you can do is just copy this formula again. I'm just copying this formula. I've added a comma. For the false, you can see this color highlighted here. If false, I'm putting the same formula down here. So everything is same. I'll just go ahead and change the criteria as 50. Right? Second is 50, right? Anything greater than or equal to 50 should be second class. I'm just going to change the text here, true value, as second. So you can see the second true value. So you can see a comma here. So once you give a comma again, so it goes to the false. Now let's close and check whether you're able to get the second criteria. Let's hit OK. Hit OK. So we are not getting this because it's less than 30. Here still we are getting because it is matching the first criteria. Let's change the amount to 51. Now you see it is taking second class because first function will go and check above this cell as above 60. Since it is not above 60, the false, again we started with the function, says again it will go and test a logical test again on this criteria 50. Then if it is matches, then you use the true value. So since we are not given the false, it has comes as a false here, right? It's very simple. So again, since we are not completing this function because we have two more to do, so we'll remove the brackets. So since you can see two brackets, because we are open with the one bracket here and again one bracket, so we are closing with. So always remember, if you open with the two brackets, you should always close with the two brackets here. Let's remove these brackets. Now if you remove again, we end up with the false function we have not given. So put comma again, copy this formula again till here. Yeah, if you till the class comma. So third function is 35. So I just go ahead and change it to 35 and just in the double quote add it as third class. So now, so if you leave hit enter also, it takes a bracket. So we are not giving the false function, so still pending. So we end up with the true. If it is greater than or equal to 35, it gives third class. Just hit enter. So because it's asked you, because we are not given the brackets, you can see three brackets here. So we are using a three functions now. So now still it is not taking because it is less than 35. Let's put 35 and above. Now you can see third class. So you're able to find the third criteria also getting third, second criteria, first criteria. So all you're able to put it in this formula. So one is pending is false. Since false is the last option, here open the bracket because we are not done with the formula, comma to when you give the comma false function. So we can directly give it as false now because it is we have given the first class, second class and third class, and final is if it doesn't falls in any of these three criteria, obviously it should be fail. So you can directly give it as fail in the false. Just put double quote fail fail and hit enter. So now just change this cell to 34 Now what it does is it will go and check this first criteria is greater than or equal to 60. Since it is not greater than or equal to 60, the first class criteria is not met. So next, what is the false? Since we started with the if function, it's going to check this cell whether it is greater than or equal to 50. Since it is not there, so true value was second class. Since it is not able to find, again false function. Again we started with the if function. So again here it go and check whether it is greater than or equal to 35. Since that is also not falling here, the last option is fail. So we are directly putting it as failure. Or even you can go ahead and copy this formula. See, again I'll do that in case feel why I'm just adding it here. I'm just tilting all this. Again I have started with the if function. You can go ahead and give it as less than. So since I'm not giving as equals because we are already given for 35 here. Anything less than 35 should be fail. So just put fail and double quotes close with the bracket. So I'm using only one bracket. So it will go ahead and correct the with the all respective brackets. Now you can see still it takes. So only thing, first you put one criteria, copy that, see whether it is working fine, then put the next criteria for the false and search whether it is working fine. So you should go by step by step. If you do step by step, you are not going to miss the function or anything. So majorly you need to focus on the brackets and the comma and the double quotes for any text. And it's very simple. I know if you keep working on the function, probably you will understand and use, but keep in mind only it has three criteria. One is logical text, true or false. Keeping that in mind, if you try putting this function, it's very helpful and very easy. I hope the session was interesting. If you find the video was interesting, kindly subscribe, hit the bell icon for more interesting videos and learnings. We'll be learning left, right, mid and len functions. So I have a data here, serial number, customer name, column C as state, company and mobile number all combined in column C. So what we are trying to do is trying to get the state, company and mobile into different columns. So I need state in D column, company in E column, mobile number in F column. So how can we get this combined cells into a different columns using these left, right and mid functions? So first of all, we need to know what is left, right and mid and len functions. So left is the function pulls left side characters in a particular cell. Say in this column C2, the left function what it does, it starts searching from this side. Say AP hyphen 1001, so on, it goes to the end using the left function. Whereas the right function pulls the right side characters in a particular cell. So the right function what it does, it starts checking from this side 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 8, 0, 0, so on to this end. So middle function pulls the middle characters in a particular cell. Say in this C column, you can see that state is in the left side, mobile number in the right side, the company code is in the middle. To pull the company code, you can use the mid functions. Len is nothing but the function returns the number of characters in a given text or a cell. So what it does is when you use this function, it calculates how many characters in this particular cell. It includes alphabets, number, special characters, space, anything, any other characters also counts and gives the number of characters in this particular cell. So let's start using the function to get all this state, company and mobile number. Let's use left function because we need to get the state. So the left function work from left hand side. So let's use left here, left open bracket. So you can use the insert function. So it gives a function argument. So we can know what we need to put in this particular box. So it says text. So let's select the C2. So now it is selected here. So number of characters. So you need to know how many characters you are trying to pull. So state is in 2 characters. You can see the APR, BR. So we'll select 2 here. As you put 2 characters, it gives the result immediately here. So we know what result it's going to give using these parameters. So let's click OK. So before copying the formula down, you should remember whether the all the rows having the same characters. Say APR2, AR, BR, CG. So once everything is same, this formula will pick. So this, for example, here it has 3 characters. It will only pick the 2 characters. So make sure that just check everything has constant 2 characters. So now it is everything is fine. So we'll drag this formula down. Right. So you can see this. It has pulled all the characters here. So we got the state. Let use write to function to use get the mobile numbers. So let's use in the equals arrange to write open bracket, use this insert function. So it's as text as usual, select C2. So number of characters. So do remember, so how many characters you're trying to pull. So this is a mobile number, obviously has 10 digits. I can use 10. Say example, you have another number, we're not sure, just keep putting the number and see what result it is coming here. So you can increase the characters. So I use 10. I know this mobile number has 10 digits. Okay. So just click OK. So now you can see it has taken. Now you can, what we do, we pull this down or copy the formula down. Now it has taken correctly. So we got the state as well as the mobile number. We need to pull the company code. So it is in middle. So we use the mid function. MID mid open bracket insert function. So here you have one more box. So let's select text as usual. It says start number. Start number is nothing but from when you need to pull the from which number we need to pull the characters. So I need the company code. So it's let's count. So we'll go here. So AP A is 1 character, P 2 characters, hyphen 3 characters. 1 is the 4th character. We need to pull from 4th character. So we'll give 4 here. So number of characters you need to get is nothing but, so you know company code has 4 characters here, see 1001. So I can give 4 directly here. Now you can see this. In case if you don't know, you can just keep on giving 2. See it's taking something. So add the increase the number. Again increase. So you can know how many characters you need it using this function argument. So now it is fine. Let's click OK. Copy or drag this formula down. Now you can see the company code is pulled. So everything is in formula now. So if you want to keep it the formula, you can keep. Otherwise, select this entire range, copy, space, special values. So the formulas will go off. The values remains. Very simple, guys. Only thing you need to know whether it is a constant characters. So what about len? So just insert a column here. So it says it counts the number of characters in a cell. Let's say the mobile number has 10 characters. If you put this formula len, I should get 10 characters. Say it asks only one option. Select the text. Now you can see the result here 10. So it gives it 10 characters. So you can drag this down. It gives 10 characters. Let's change to company. Obviously it should be 4 characters. So it gives 4 characters. So you can double click this. It will take down. For the AP len, set 2 characters. Usually len used with other functions, it's combined function. They use len in the left function or right or mid, do a multiple data. So this is a basic we can use to know how many characters in a cell. And very simple, guys. Hope this video was interesting. If you think the video is interesting, kindly subscribe and hit the bell icon for more interesting videos and learnings. Thanks. And the match function. It is similar to VLOOKUP function, whereas VLOOKUP works from towards the right, whereas the index and the match function works towards the left as well as the right side. So I have a small data here, name, score, and IDs. We are trying to find the information to these 2 IDs. So let's try to put the index function here. Equals index, open bracket. Then we need to get the score. So I'm going to select only the score column. Use F4 function to log the cells, comma, match function, open bracket. So we are looking for this 1003. Select this one. Select the range in the column C. use F4 function to log the cell, and once you're done, comma, so we need to get the exact match. So we'll put it as 0, close the bracket, hit enter, copy the formula down. We can see the information as taken. Hello friends, welcome back. This is Manjunath Chandraya. Today's session we'll be learning the useful functions of pivot table. If you're new to this channel, do subscribe with the bell icon for more interesting videos and learnings. Let's start. So I have a small data, order number, month, name, product, and the number of sales. Let's try to put a pivot table for this data. Click anywhere on this data, go to insert. You can see an option here, pivot table. Hit pivot. So now you can see it is taking a range, as you can see highlighted here, till E13. So data will take till E13. So I want to so the small problem is, like, if your data is increasing, then the range cannot be, it will not be changed. Then again you need to manually go ahead and change the number of rows here. And it says new sheet or existing sheet. Existing sheet is nothing but you want to have a pivot in the particular in same where the data is there. Say example, I need to get a pivot here, so I can click somewhere anywhere here, so the pivot will come, we can put it here. Otherwise new sheet is, it will going to create a new sheet. Okay, let's cancel this because the range is selecting till E13. So but if the data is increasing, I want the pivot table to also get the range added. So for that reason, what we do, just click somewhere here, go to insert. You can see a table here. We will try to create a table for this data. So just click OK. So now design, in design it says the table 4. Just say change it to you can name it anything. Let's say name it as sales. So now you can see this, the color format has been changed. Say for example, I don't want this color format in the design. You can go ahead and change anything here, right? So let me say I don't want anything here. I want to keep it as blank as it earlier. So I'm just removing it. Now we'll try to put a pivot table now. So insert. So here you can see pivot table and the recommended pivot tables. Recommended pivot tables is what? Because it gives you the, based on your data, it try to put some options here, pivot table options, which you can directly select it. So here it says count by order. So now I want the product wise and the number of sales. So I can select this one. Just select this, click OK. It will create a new sheet. Let me name this sheet as pivot table. So now it's automatically taken the data as the product. You can see product is selected in the row column and the values. So once you click on this, sometimes if you click somewhere here, you're not able to see the fields here. You can either click here, you'll get this pivot table fields. If you're not able to get, right click on the pivot, go to, so it says hide fields. So it is hiding it. So you want to get that back, right click on that, show fields. So it will show you the option. These are nothing but the headers on your data. So these headers, it is showing in the here. And the filters is nothing but you want to filter anything here. Say example, let me put it a date here. So you can filter by dates. So you can select all. Say, whichever date you want to know the data, just click. It gives you the reference. Let's select all. Okay. Column is nothing but, so let's say I want to put my number of sales in this column. So the sales will come, salesperson comes in the column wise, or I can pull this to the row column, drag this product to the column size. So now whatever changes you do, it is getting changed here, right? And let's say I want the name as well as the product in the same row column. So now it is come, but it is not in the correct format, right? So once you click somewhere anywhere outside the pivot, you don't see any options here. When you click on this pivot, you can see a number of options like analyze and the design. Let's go to design, go to report layout. You can select a tabular form. So when you select, it will change it to the form. So name has come this side, and it has created a columns. So I don't want a subtotals here. So it is taking a subtotals. Again design, go to subtotals, don't show subtotals. And these two products, this particular salesperson is selling the mobile as well as the TV, but I need to get his name down, as well as here Ram is, he is selling mobile as well as the washing machine. For that you can go report layout, report all items. So now you can see it is taking all this data here. Okay, now let's say let me remove the name here. I don't want the names, so just back. So I need to add a percentage for the sales. how much particular product percentage has been sold. What you can do is drag again number of sales to the value side. So now it says summing. It is getting sum. So sometimes you want to have it a count. You can set it as count, average, maximum, minimum product. Here summarizing by values. We keep it as sum. Once you drag this, right click on this, go to show values here. You can see a lot of options here. Difference. You can select a grand total percentage. Once you select, so it gives you percentage of sales for that particular product. Say example, I don't want these decimals. Just select this data, go to home, here decimal, remove the decimals, so you can keep it. So now you can see it gives you percentage, and you can go ahead and rename it as percentage sales. Let's click percentage sales, right? And here is a number of sales. Number of sales, you can say number of, and here you can see it is already taking as product here, right? Let me say I just need to create a one more pivot where I need by this salesperson wise. So rather than going and creating again, you can just copy this pivot, paste it somewhere down here. So hope you're able to see. Yes, see now I just right click on this, show fields. So instead of product, I'm just dragging out the product down. Name column, I'm just pulling the name into the row side. So now you can see it is changed here with the percentage, right? And let me add a show fields again. Let me add a let's say, let me put a date month in the filter column. So I need to filter by, see, whichever dates I need to select, dates getting, values getting changed here. As you noticed, if I change it, click anywhere here, the only this is getting changed, not this one, right? So again, every time I need to go and select the filters. For that, you can add a slicer. Slicer is where it gives you an option where whenever it gives a direct option where you can click and you can filter whatever you want. So for that, you can go to insert, you can see in filters, you can see slicers, just click. You can select what are the headers you want. Let me select month, name, and the product. Let's say, yeah, 3 of it. So once you click, you'll get a like a screenshot. So you can drag it somewhere here, anywhere you want. So see now you're able to see it, right? So I can put it somewhere in wherever whichever is comfortable. Let's say, what we do, let's copy this cut, paste it somewhere here. Okay. So now you see when I click data getting, so you can unfilter this filter. So data, now this pivot is getting changed, whereas this pivot table is not getting changed, right? For that, what you can do, select all these screenshots, 1 2 3, holding control, right click. I don't, okay, it's not showing. Okay, let's do one by one. So right click on this. So we are trying to link this pivot table with this pivot table. Whenever I make any changes in this slicer, this should also change. Right click on this, go to report connections. So this pivot is not selected, just select the pivot, and again select next slicer, right click, report, select select this pivot, right click, report connections, again select. So now you can see, let's say, let's select only the mobile. So now it is changing everywhere. So this total 116 has been sold, whereas these people have sold 55 cam, and lamb as 36 and ram as 25. Okay, so let's say, let me select ram is not selected, watch, and so you can hold controls and select two products. So let me select these three. So now you see only one person has sold watch. So let me select, unfilter this, Okay, hold shift I think. Okay, so it takes all the things. I unfilter here. Now you can see mixer, mobile. So I'm holding control and selecting it, so it will give it's getting changed here. So we can also add, let's say this column. Let's right click on this pivot. Let's add the month instead of filters. Let me add it in. Let it be here, and let's can also include a timer. So insert timer. So what it does is, so you can see it gives the option for years, number of years. So data changes 2019, 20. So you can set it for quarters, which quarter you want to check data. So when we have only data for quarter one, or you can select it as months. So January, February data, March. So it also gives. So this it is changing only the but one period. It is not changing this period. So again you can right click, report connections, right click. So now everything is getting changed. So you can align it as you require. You can also change these options. So you can change the colors of these options here if you want, and yeah, and you can set it as you want. So just you can based on this you can unfilter it something here, and you can go here, view grid lines. You can remove the grid lines. So you can set like this. Okay, and let's say right click on this so you can see a data. I'll just remove this month. Let's add a product here. So I need to create a sheets based on these particular products. I want to create a multiple sheets using these products. So we just click on this and go to analyze options. You can see report filter, because we already pulled the product in the report filter, so it is showing once you click. So now you can see it is created a particular period for each product. Okay, this is very useful to want to create a multiple sheets. Let's delete this. Again, you can also add a graphs. So let's say click on this pivot, go to insert. You can see recommendations. In recommendation, it gives you all the options which are, because you have selected this data is getting added here. Let's select the column. Just click here. So yeah, either you can drag it drag it somewhere here, down somewhere. I know it is congested. Sorry, bear with me. And let's say let's add it somewhere here. Okay, so you're able to see. Okay, and you can just click on this, change the design. If you want to you can make a number of changes here. Let's add this one, lot of options. Okay, so now I've set all this right. Let's say let me add some data here. So let 13. See, once see before if I add something here, so now when I add this 13 number, you can see this range is selecting here. So let's select the same date. Let's say Raju sold some mobile of 10. Because Raju's name is not anywhere here. So you right click on, you just go, you can go refresh all periods in data. So once you refresh, you cannot get the payment in workbook, worksheet, advanced Excel. Okay, that's why it is congested. I'm just refreshing here. So now let's see Raju's name. So it is added here. Let's click on Raju's. So let's select all mobile. So now you can see Raju selected Raju. I have just selected Raju. Yes, old 10 and mobiles. So and the graphs getting changed here. Only Raju's it is showing because I have selected only this. Pure. Yeah, and unfilter it by using clicking on this. So now you can see everything is getting changed here. So the graph is showing little thing, so you can drag it little bigger. So just right click, you want to change the color. So fill colors, you can change the label. Whichever color you want, let's say something like this. So I hope the session was interesting. And if you think the video was interesting, do subscribe, hit the bell icon for more interesting videos and learning. Thank you for your time.